Julian Howsare not fooled by any of the action in the backfield.
Here comes more heat. Courtney Stephen, fumble, picked up by the Ticats.
We're here in the film room. This is where the magic happens. I mean, you're a talented dude, but I'm sure you do a lot of prep. So let's show the people a little bit of the stuff that you're looking at when you're getting ready for a game, or even just take a closer look at some of the things you do in the game that give you an advantage. I have a question for you. I watched a lot of football, but it wasn't until recently, last few years, that I saw a defensive lineman standing up in a two-point stance. Right here, you're in a two-point stance, way split out outside of this offensive lineman. Why do you take this stance, and why do you stand so far away from the O-lineman like this?
Lining up wide like that is just going to create space to get that tackle on an island. But as far as standing up, especially up here in the CFL with Canadian football, your vision is everything. You know, there's so many moving parts. So, like, for me, you know, one of the first things I look for is, you know, I'm looking at the personnel, I'm looking at the backfield, I'm looking at potential crack blocks coming from the outside, you know, a potential swoop block coming from the opposite side. So it just gives me that ability to be able to see things and also protect myself.
Yeah, you gotta protect yourself. You get your head taken off if you don't. And speaking of getting your head taken off, here you got number 68. He's coming out to block you. You got 84 in the backfield. It looks like you're about to have almost 2-on-1. Then 84 flies out quickly. At this point right here, there's a big gap inside. There's nobody outside to help. Is this pretty much just get to the quarterback by any means necessary? Or
for the most part, at the same time, you got to be very cautious of your rush lanes. You know, if I take that inside gap now, you know, that quarterback, especially with a quarterback like Franklin who can move a little bit, he can get outside, and I lost contain. So, you know, I have ultimate contain. So if I am going to take that inside move, I'm going to want to take it high to quarterback depth and then break it off and come inside there so he can't, so I don't lose contain. But here I was able to just beat the hands on like a cross chop and then stay in my lane.
Hey, that's one of those judo moves you got to keep in your belt. I feel like D-line is so close to martial arts because of all the precision and the hand action and the body weight. You're pushing, you're pulling. It's actually really skillful, even though D-line, O-line, those are the biggest guys on the field. Here on this clip, you're at it seems like you're at a linebacker position to start. You got two D linemen who are kind of mulling around in front of you. You're about 4 yards deep. And then you move around, get outside, got Dylan Wynn in the same spot as you, then he bumps down. It's not to the last second that everybody gets in their position. What are you guys trying to do here, and what does that do to the offense?
So, you know, me standing up, that's something that we do a lot. With me, I can blitz from linebacker level, I can creep up, and then I can drop into coverage. So we kind of want to give them that look to start, you know, get the O-lineman thinking. And for O-line, communication is everything. So they need to be all on the same page. So we want to time up those movements, you know, as close to the snap as possible with being able to be able to do our job. But just to see, as they're communicating right here, we move last second, and then for them, it's like, oh, you know, what do we ought to check to, or what, you know, they got to communicate just that much more, hopefully causing them to make a mental error.
Yeah, making mistakes. So each time that these offensive linemen, they tap their heads and then they point to a different person, they're basically calling out like, this is who I got, that's who I got.
Yeah, you can, I mean, pre-snap will tell you everything with the O-lineman. I mean, you can look at the center right here. He's looking left. You know, he's probably going to slide to Teddy here. Wynn's going to have the guard, and then I'm going to have an ISO on the tackle on the outside.
Nice. And then talking about rush lanes, it seems like, well, you obviously know the play, and so you know that this guy is coming out behind you. You basically pull this tackle's attention and then get him inside to make a shorter corner for that Sam blitz. Is that something you guys practice, or does this naturally happen?
So this is something that obviously we practice, and you know, with me knowing that I have the Sam blitz in here, my inside move is going to be more direct. It's going to be now. That way he doesn't have to, Rico doesn't have to think right here of, if I'm going inside or not. I'm going to make it direct, give him an open lane, and then this just happened to be with him crashing down on me, and I actually, Strevler, he's a B-gap escape quarterback, So he likes to escape to that B gap. So I knew that going into that. So as soon as I started getting crashing down, I knew I had to get back in that B gap to protect it, and it worked out perfectly right here.
Hey, right place, right time. You find the cookie. Keeping it in Winnipeg, you're at the bottom of the field in the rush position. Now, this is interesting to me. You're in a different technique than the opposite defensive end. So we got a defensive end on the bottom of the D-line and at the top of the D-line, but the guy on the top is more aggressive, and you look like you're slow playing it, reading, anticipating what's going to happen next before you just dive in there to go make a tackle. It works out for you here, but tell us a little bit about this technique. Like, what's this called?
So this will be 50-50. So basically my ultimate job is the quarterback here. So I need to make sure that the quarterback gives the ball, and if he doesn't, I need to go, make the play. There's some things that will go into this though. So my job isn't this every single time. It depends on the play call, depends if we have a blitz called. But for me right here, I knew I had 50-50. It's 1st and 10. I have the back to the same side as me. So I'm anticipating already that this is going to happen. So for me right here, I want to close as much space as possible to that tackle, because if he does give the ball away, a lot of the times DNs get too high upfield, and then that cutback lane's there for him. So I want to take that away, force him to either give it or keep it like this and be able to make the play.
And then you got to make a tackle in space. Now, that's easier said than done, especially on a quarterback like Strebler.
Like a mobile quarterback,
He can run, he can shed some tackles and make a problem for a defense, so you got to be patient there. We got one more play here. This one, you're usually in the field, right? You're usually on the wide side at the bottom. It would be down here, but this looks like a completely different front. You're playing in the short side of the field. Usually call that the quick. The wide side be the rush. This is the quick. And there's only 3 D linemen here, right? So what does that do? Is that another one of those things where you're putting the offense in a position where they got to communicate and they got to identify things and do a little mental gymnastics before the play?
Yeah, definitely. It's just to give them a different look, especially 2nd and 15. There's usually, if we're going to go 3-man front, we're going to bring some kind of pressure. So it just forces that O-line to communicate that much more, just to be a little unsure of, because we do so many different looks out of this. Sometimes we'll rush 3 and, drop everybody out. So it's just to, get the O-line to communicate a little bit more, keep them on their toes, and just basically, as a D lineman, your job is just to make those O-linemen as uncomfortable as possible. And keep them guessing.
You say keep him on your toes. It looked like you got him on his heels right here. Hit him with the inside spin move. You're pushing him up the field. And now, I don't know if you ever took some ballet or what, but the sink on this one, and then it's like you pin him with that arm so that he can't do anything but block you in the back.
And that's the key, is that elbow. We call it an ice pick. So you sell that speed rush, get him to kick hard. Once he commits and you hit that spin, once you ice pick him with that elbow, he can't recover. And that's when you take that inside move, another thing that you want to do is get vertical then. A lot of guys will take that inside move, and then the O-lineman will just flatten them out, and then the quarterback has room to escape. So as soon as you hit that inside move, you want to get vertical, and then therefore it takes you right to the quarterback.
And to the quarterback you went. Man, that's crazy to see inside the mind of somebody who's playing fast. For us, it often looks like just going out there and having fun, letting your skills, your God-given talents take over. But there's obviously a lot of thought and preparation that goes into this, the rush lanes, the techniques, knowing where the quarterback likes to escape or where the running back is positioned, where the blocks might be coming from. Appreciate you taking us inside of the mind of a D lineman. I hope that you don't get any crack blocks this year, but you're going to have to stay in the film room to make sure that happens.
Oh, for sure.
Well, yeah.
I appreciate it, man.
Solid.